What if the greatest lie in human history isn't written in a book, but is carved in 2 million tons of stone on the Giza Plateau? We are told the Great Pyramid was a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, a monument to a dead king. But what if that is the ultimate cover story? A simple explanation designed to conceal a truth so profound it would shatter our understanding of the ancient world and our vision for the future of humanity? What if the empty granite box in the king's chamber was never meant to hold a body, but was precision engineered to free a mind? That the entire structure wasn't built to honor the dead, but to awaken a dormant capability within the living, to awaken something within you. This is the parable of the pyramid they never wanted you to hear, the one that changes everything. For centuries, we have asked the wrong questions. We ask how they built it, marveling at the impossible precision, the celestial alignments, the sheer scale. We debate lost technologies, but we rarely ask the most fundamental question: why? The official tomb theory crumbles under the slightest pressure. The decades of labor, the resources of an entire civilization, for a project far more complex and strangely empty than any tomb before or after it. These anomalies that baffle engineers aren't evidence of a primitive people struggling. What if they are deliberate clues left by the architects, designed to make the tomb explanation so illogical that a discerning mind would be forced to look deeper? The pyramid is a message encoded in stone, and its first sentence is, "I am not what I seem." Step inside, walk through the crude passage cut by thieves, and enter the original, pristine corridors. Notice what is profoundly absent. In a civilization that covered every inch of its sacred places with hieroglyphs, spells, and the glorious stories of its kings, the inner chambers of the Great Pyramid are utterly barren. They are sterile, silent, and anonymous. There is not one single definitive contemporary marking that names Khufu as its occupant. This isn't just unusual, it is a profound statement. A true pharaoh's tomb was a machine for resurrection, powered by inscribed words. So why is the grandest of them all mute? The parable tells us the absence is not a void of meaning. It is the meaning. A canvas must be blank before a masterpiece is painted. A mind must be silent before it can hear the universe. And in that silence, you can feel it. A subtle, pervasive vibration. Scientists and researchers have recorded it. The king's chamber, constructed from solid Aswan granite, is a masterwork of acoustic engineering. It resonates at a specific, deep frequency. Tap the granite coffer, and the sound sustains for an unnervingly long time. The entire chamber hums. But what is it tuned to? Acoustic tests revealed that many resonant frequencies present match those in the human brain during deep, meditative states. It's a space engineered to directly affect consciousness. But the mystery deepens. The pyramid as a whole focuses electromagnetic energy into its chambers and emits a barely perceptible hum. Is it a coincidence that this fundamental frequency is in perfect harmony with the resonant frequency of the Earth itself? This harmony is the key that unlocks the parable. The story is not of a king obsessed with death, but of one who sought the ultimate truth of existence. The architect who approached the pharaoh spoke not of preserving a fragile body, but of a different kind of immortality. He proposed a structure that would act as an interface, a bridge between the finite human mind and the infinite cosmic intelligence. The pharaoh, intrigued by wisdom, not vanity, agreed. They would not build a tomb, they would construct a silent oracle, a machine not of gears, but of geometry, stone, and frequency. Its purpose was to create a stable environment where the human mind could perform its most extraordinary and forgotten function. It was a launching pad, not for the body into the afterlife, but for consciousness into the cosmos. How could stone achieve this? The parable describes the pyramid as a cosmic antenna. Its very shape draws down and focuses an energy our science is only beginning to postulate. This energy is channeled through the Grand Gallery, a resonating waveguide, and focused with pinpoint accuracy into the king's chamber. And the final component? The granite sarcophagus. It wasn't a coffin, it was the focal point, the operating table. The so-called air shafts were sealed from the inside, not for ventilation. Their precise alignment to stars wasn't symbolic, it was functional. They were targeting systems, calibrating the device, locking onto specific cosmic frequencies. The entire pyramid was an immense, passive, solid-state machine waiting for the one component needed to activate it: a conscious human operator. The parable then describes the final ritual. A highly trained initiate who had mastered deep meditation would enter the king's chamber. They would lie within the granite coffer. As the chamber's resonant frequencies influenced their brainwaves, guiding them into a specific state of awareness, the theta state, the doorway to the subconscious, the entire pyramid system would come alive. Aligned with the Earth's hum and calibrated to the stars, the initiate's consciousness, the parable claims, could achieve the impossible. It could project. Untethered from its biological host, it could navigate a universal field of information, a cosmic library of all that ever was and all that ever will be. They didn't build a tomb to reach the gods, they built a gateway to become like them. This was the great secret, the ultimate birthright of humanity, the knowledge that our consciousness is not a byproduct of the brain, but a fundamental force of the universe that can be focused and directed. This knowledge was so powerful, the architects knew it could not be openly shared. In the wrong hands, it meant chaos. In an immature civilization, it would be dismissed as magic. So, they concealed it. They hid the key to cosmic consciousness behind the most mundane story imaginable: a king's ego and a pile of rocks. A tomb. The perfect camouflage. And so, the world forgot, left staring at the box, never realizing the true gift was inside us. Why no proof? Because the final artifact isn't a scepter or a crown. It isn't an object you can find, but a state of being you must achieve. And this is where the parable turns from a story about the past into a direct message for our present. It is an instruction manual left for a future generation that would be ready. A generation with the tools to measure resonant frequencies, to map the stars with precision, to understand the link between electromagnetism and consciousness. The architects built the pyramid in the only universal languages: mathematics, geometry, and astronomy. They knew an age would come when we would decode their work not with chisels, but with oscilloscopes. They knew we would eventually stop asking how they moved the stones and start asking why they tuned them. The parable concludes with a single chilling line: when the child of the stars is ready to listen, the stone will speak. Are we finally that child? Are we ready to listen? The pyramid, then, is not a gravestone for one king, but a signpost for all of humanity. Its true secret is not about ancient aliens, but about a lost human potential. A potential to connect, to understand, to become more. This parable changes everything because it shifts the pyramid from a dusty relic into a shimmering promise for our future, a dormant tool waiting for us to remember the manual. It suggests the greatest discovery won't be in the sands of Egypt, but within the silent chambers of our own minds. The journey to the stars begins not with a rocket, but with a breath. The pyramid does not point to the sky. It points inward. What do you think? Is the Great Pyramid a tomb or a tool? A flight of fancy or a whisper of a forgotten truth? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one. And if you seek to uncover more truths hidden in plain sight, subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the world's greatest mysteries.